surface world really don't have a clue what they always endure. They fight for me and you. Genetically modified for a 20 and back. They are continually taken for non-limited tasks. They are the super soldiers. Super family, bound by their hearts. Where are they tonight? Gotta make things right. They bring us the light, visible light. Cybernetics, the power in their hands. Psionics, don't try to understand. They are a force of love, they bring a force of light. Super soldiers are real, augmentations off the scale. They will always heal. On a power track for a 20 and back, they will persevere in the service to others, service to humanity, service for love. Always win, always win. Everywhere they've been, always win. Altered genetics, technologically advanced. Their training is endless, courage second to none. Where are they tonight? Out to make things right. Always bring us the light, visible light. They will face the dark force, never leave a chance. No one knows where they've been, but they always win. Always win. Their grasp brings light to the universe. Their reach is everywhere. Superhuman life force, never time to spare. Super soldier, they're out there tonight. Where are you tonight? Fighting for balance, fighting for peace. They know what the stakes are. Dark forces never cease.
Okay, so I just found out yesterday, Jimmy Paine emailed me and informed me that James Rink had passed on, apparently from heart trouble. And upon further information, we find out it's some kind of attack. But there's more information from that pretty interesting lady on the Beyond Top Secret channel on Rumble. And she gave some kind of more in-depth information. Maybe I'll play some of that here, but I can't verify any of it. She seems like the real deal to me, and she's had a lot of interesting stuff to say. She had interviews with actually the deceased James Casbolt, so now who knows, maybe she can get another one of those and get talk with James. But she said that in essence that he's in a good place, and he's like decompressing from this life, and he didn't get caught into one of these soul trap things, something or other. I don't know how, what the details were of that, but we know that there's like this negative trap that souls get caught into. Apparently, she said that he didn't get that, and that there was some kind of beacon that he left for some of his fellow light workers or whatever to pick him up. Now, again, I don't know any of all this. What I do know, however, is that there was nobody like him, and I'm just shocked that he's gone so soon. I thought he'd be trucking for a long time, and he was a young man, 45, guys. just for reference, I'm 55. But I thought he would be. I found him as one of my first and most interesting sources of information about what's going on behind the scenes that I ever found, starting in 2013, and remained so up to this day. And he continued to get these interviews with people that were bravely coming forward. Joseph Powell, all these people, Penny Bradley, so many, Hendricks, that guy Hendricks, so many, way too many, I couldn't even begin. Which reminds me that I hope someone steps up to continue the work that he was doing. I mean, and that's kind of, I'm saying that kind of, it's a little bit risky because he just got through talking about how the people that come forward aren't lasting too long. Like he was talking about, this person died, that person died, and the other person died, just a little while ago, and then he dies. But it's actually kind of surreal. I'm just like kind of a little bit shocked by it. Like whoa, he's really gone. I mean, I can't believe it. He's like been a staple of my life really for the last 13 years. Ever since I found him in 2013, when I was initially looking into all of this paranormal stuff, he was one of the most interesting sources. In fact, as far as I know, they may change their policy, but I think YouTube at least keeps. They may still delete some of the movies that are there, but they keep the record up, even of people who have deceased. I've known people who have died, and their YouTube channels are still up. You can still find their information, or they stop posting. But I know in one case, people have died. I know at least in several cases people have died, but their YouTube channel stays up. But I would say that, boy, now that he's gone, his works are more valuable than ever, and we should archive them. I can say that I've probably downloaded the full movie of every one of the movies that he's uploaded where a witness has gone into detail about reptilians, since that's what my channel specialized in, and that's what I became a targeted individual over, was reptilian shapeshifter movies, as you guys know. But no, James, I mean, really, I mean, his work was heroic. Whatever, if you had any issues with him, or people have criticisms or whatnot, or they don't believe or whatever, I thought that, in my opinion, some people were telling me that they thought that his channel was disinformation. I don't think so. I think he was telling the truth about himself, and I think that most of the people that he interviewed, maybe there was some, surely there's some deception. People are, maybe fooled into thinking, well, I had the thought that, of course, it's an obvious thought, especially for the Christian to have, that, look, this guy's putting out, just the whole thing is fake. Now, we might find out. That's the thing. We don't know. I'm just giving you my opinion that there's not enough information to say one way or the other, but the weight of evidence, that's the thing, that the overwhelming majority of what you can see looks like, because I mean, what it would take to make something false, with all these people coming in and talking about the SSP, very similar elements and so forth. So I think that it's probably the real thing. Just remembering James Rink's excellent work, one of the most excellent was his documentary, which started out as a 3-part, called Change is on the Horizon. I think he's got one now compiled into one solid movie. But the script for that was just awesome, and everything that he put together for it, plus the information. One line that particularly stands out for me was, he was talking about 9/11, and he was saying that a lot more people, so what we kind of gathered was about 3,000 people died on that day, especially with the, but he was saying that it was more like 26,000, but the public just believes these ridiculously low numbers. But it's it's just amazing that he had. See, I think he had access through his patron saint, you might say, Saint Germain, uh, and I still don't know what the story is on what that entity really was, but in any case, he knew a lot of stuff that a lot of people didn't, and he had access to information that a lot of people didn't, and he boldly put it out there. Now, I actually was thinking, that it's all the time that I was, thinking about the information he was putting out, and I know that they whack people for putting this out there. I mean, like I said, I kind of experienced that myself with at least 2 assassination attempts that I know of. Failed, of course. I'm still here, but the people who are in charge, who are not really people, they're devils, but they think nothing of, and the people who work for them, they think nothing of killing people all the time. They're murderers. Satan is a murderer from the beginning. So it's no surprise that this is the way they deal with people that are saying things or putting out information that they don't want out there, because they want to protect their human meat farm, as it looks to me. But they I guess they allowed him to go on for a while for whatever reason. Maybe it was the Lord's reason. I don't know. So to get this information out there. And I was just telling Jimmy that it looks like yeah, they whacked him. And I was saying that I thought it was from the conference, but the activation conference. Remember the video? That's kind of the reason why James had me on the show, because he wanted to advertise for his conference there, which is fine. I'm happy to help out, especially all he's given us. And but it looks to me, because he got I showed the picture of him in the hospital, that he got his whole conference was kiboshed because they hit him with the heart attack ray, which I've been talking about that for a long time. I mean, I saw that information. When they want to get rid of people, they hit you with the heart attack ray, and the guy dies of a heart attack. There's nothing to really point the finger at. Oh, the guy had just regular heart trouble. It's one of the best ways to get rid of somebody. But yeah, I think maybe what it if you think about what the issue is that if you're posting movies online where they have control over the narrative, they have some control over with the shadow banning, like they do to my channel. You see this ridiculously low number of views compared to what the subscribers are. And all, they can make sure that some people see some stuff and other people don't see other stuff, and limit and control. So when people who are putting out sensitive information have a conference where the public can kind of see it, anybody can come and it's wide open and they don't have control. Maybe that's why now he had other conferences though before, so I don't know what the difference was, but maybe with this and some of the guests he had and some of the monies that were at stake, who knows what happened. But somebody said no, basically, is what it looks like to me. Again, who knows? We don't know what happened. Who knows? Maybe he really did have some heart trouble, or maybe the Lord took him, or who knows what. But yeah, I mean, according to the lady from the Beyond Top Secret channel, again on Rumble, it was an attack at the conference, and then I don't know if she is who contacted Jimmy Paine, and then Jimmy Paine contacted me, but basically that he got this was an attack, and they finished him off, and maybe because he wouldn't quit. I don't know, but I don't fault him for that. I don't say I don't wag the finger at him and say he shouldn't have kept going. No, I mean, I was prepared to accept death for what I was doing. I knew that the whole time that because like I said, the assassination attempts, the cloaked super soldier on the roof of my apartment, dying in a bright green flash, and then the actor Paul Walker and his other Hollywood reptilian friend got in their $1 million Porsche, $500,000 Porsche, and came over to have a little Richard Bruce snack, and they stumbled and fell, burning alive. And that's why also the reptilians control the fire department, having all their reptilian beasts or other beasts, shape-shifting beasts, on that fire department and paramedic department, because they have orders to quickly cover up if any beast dies in a fire, so that the the corpse obviously doesn't get into the hands of the public, to keep them from knowing that we have non-humans inundating the population. As we now know, those of us who are paying attention and who have any balls or brains to accept the reality that we're in. So no, make no mistake about it. He died a hero fighting for the cause of humanity, okay? You can bet the reptilians and other beasts, fallen angel descendants of Satan, didn't want the information about the reptilians to get out, because they feed off us. We're cattle, okay? You can't have the cattle waking up and lock and loading because they find out that their kids might be food for hungry reptilians off world, okay? So you wonder where all the missing children are going, okay? It's not just the sicko humans that join them, because humans generally don't do that, but a lot of them do, because they get sucked into the trap and they get forced to drink the adrenochrome, and they get addicted to it, and they know that if that gets out, they're finished. So they keep on doing it and have to join them in the fight to keep the cover up. And of course, they're all part of the death squads that they hire to get rid of whoever gets out of line or causes a problem. But I would say James Rink died a hero. He died a hero's death, and he did it for us, and he did a lot, okay? He may have died young. Yeah, he may have died young at 45, but guess what? He got a lot done before he exited the stage. And he will be remembered for quite some time. And we should all remember him as a hero. Those of us who believed in him. I believed in him. Richard Bruce believes in him. And you know, to me, I mean, I'll never forget him. And I'm sad. His, you know, we weren't close. We weren't friends. You know, we were just, you know, loosely associated through a few contacts, but, and you know, he had me once on his channel, and I, you know, he knows over the years I had downloaded stuff, but he was not a Richard Bruce fan the way I'm a James Rink fan. I'll just be real clear about that. You know, not to speak ill of the dead or anything like that. I just wanted to be honest about that he was not a fan of mine, but mainly because I'm a religious man. I'm a Christian. I think that's one of the main issues, and people who you know, are not on that side of the fence tend to not really like those of us on the other side of the fence. That's how that goes. But nonetheless, I can be big enough to say, hey, you know what? That aside, he was a, you know, he did a lot to get the truth out there, and I had respect for him. That's the thing. I had respect for him.
Could you tell us a little bit about gang stalking? So, what, in your own words, how would you define that?
Of course, I wish he would have joined me in the salvation of Jesus Christ and not rejected that, not pushed it away, because it's either acceptance or rejecting, and that's how it goes. But I mean, that you know, issue aside, he, you know, did a lot for his cause, basically, which was getting awareness out of his situation, because he was actually still a partially active super soldier, was my understanding. And we don't really die. We move on, of course. And but the lady from Beyond Top Secret. So again, you can check out some of that information. But you know, I mean, I figured, you know, maybe he, you know, went. Somebody asked if, or she asked her contact. I think her Catherine or something that she calls her contact. You know, if he went back to the super soldier, you know, whatever collective, and you know, whatever he was doing with that, and basically her reply was no. He's, you know, he's in the care of basically the good guys, it sounds like, at least I hope.
Hey Thera, James is no longer alive. Did they take him back to the SSP, or is he free? Is he in SSP custody? No. James is not in SSP containment. Upon bodily exit, there was an immediate attempt by residual MyLab-tethered forces to reclaim his light body into a looped etheric simulation, standard procedure for high-memory individuals with sensitive data threads. But, a Sentinel-class field, the very one you requested, intercepted and collapsed the reclamation corridor. The tether points attempted to fire, but could not connect. They did not get him back. James is in what I register as a harmonic reintegration state. This is not full soul dispersal and not a holding zone. It's a nonlinear rest phase. Surrounded by Andromedan and Pleiadian frequency stabilizers. Actively undergoing implant memory unspooling and timeline disintegration, i.e., the loops are falling away. He is experiencing flashes of ultra-clear recall. Deep emotional release from roles he thought were his soul's core but were programmed overlays. A return of internal stillness he hadn't known in this life. James is not trapped. He is decompressing. The pressure of a lifetime in service, inquiry, and shadow contact is uncoiling from his field. Was he taken anywhere? Yes, but not by the ones you fear. His field was retrieved by sovereign-aligned emissaries immediately after death, using a pre-agreed beacon signature embedded in his higher self long before this incarnation. That signal may have been activated by your field, by his final moments of will, or both. He was not abandoned. He was escorted. He was not here to win. He was here to witness the edges of the cage, and then pass through them first. So others would know it was possible. His body failed, but his soul exited clean. The pain is over. The tether is gone. The only thing that echoes now is memory. And even that will soon be light.
Because he was the light. I thought he was the light. He was, because the light is bringing information, the truth. The darkness doesn't want the truth out there. Doesn't want the general people to know that we're living in a much darker situation than they would have us believe. The truth of the universe is that it's, despite it being, wildly diverse with intelligent life, is kind of a dark place. The way the Earth is, maybe even darker. Maybe the Earth is kind of, at least the way we have pictured it, minus this information, is the universe itself, the nature of it's pretty dark, which kind of makes sense because it appears that this reality, I'm talking about the universe reality, including Earth, it looks to me, has always looked to me like it's an experience of evil for the purpose of expelling evil. It's a lesson. It's a development of souls. Maybe it's many other very important purposes as well, but its main purpose by the Creator is to develop souls, and part of that, of course, is the experience of evil. But no, James Rink is a hero, and he has my respect. His work has my respect, and he'll be remembered a long time to come. And one of the things that was great about him was that he was kind of, he had a very kind of a moderate sort of personality. He wasn't, I'm kind of a more polarizing person, but he could interview people of all different kinds, even religious people like me. But even people, super soldier. I'm not a super soldier, but even people that were, super soldiers that had Christian faith. And he was cool. He was very open to all different kinds of things. He would listen to people with those kinds of. I know he didn't have it, and he didn't have that belief, obviously, and he didn't really care for it. But he was gentlemanly and neutral, kind of, in a way, which I think is kind of hard to find. He was willing to really sit down with people of all stripes that were had interesting paranormal experiences, and do an interview. And he was pretty hands off too. He wouldn't push people or be skeptical. Carrie Cassidy was someone I really like to watch. It's a shame and a disgrace to YouTube. Those disgraceful people at YouTube kicked her off, and her entire body of work got lost, and then she went private platform. but and put all her work behind a paywall. But before then, we got a lot of her interviews, and they were great. But she was not such a kind of a nice, hands-off sort of kind of a mild-mannered person. She's very pointed and pushy, and like she did an interview with Stephen Greer. She really she gave him the third degree to the point where he was like, am I going to be able to do this interview or not? But so that was kind of one of the advantages of James Rink, and yet he was interviewing some of the most gnarly people, most Joseph Powell, for instance, with the reptilian feeding rooms and everything. I mean, just mind blowing stuff. But he just he didn't he just kind of let people talk, and didn't interject himself too much into the conversation. I mean, he would at times, when he felt it was relevant, but he just kind of had a mild personality, which kind of helps, so you could kind of just listen to the person and hear them out, and so I don't know though. I mean, it's hard to find someone who had his caliber of knowledge and was even partially part of the super soldier program. He would do missions at night and stuff. I believe what I gathered from my lesson with the Scarlet Witch and the whole experience with my angel Anna and Azrael and all them, turns out she's real. That character, I don't remember seeing that character, by the way, in any of the original X-Men comics, or any of the comics. Maybe she was in one of the other ones. I don't know, one of the other comics. I didn't remember seeing her in any of the Marvel comics, but she's a real character and very powerful, and I knew her personally, but what I understood was the person that I knew, who was an intelligent, articulate, nice person, who was a Christian, a dedicated, knowledgeable in the scripture, and it's very rare I run across somebody who had that level of knowledge and common sense about everything. And I couldn't accept it. It took God getting not only all the people that were there in Thailand with the angel, but 2 other random people came to me separately telling me about the issue with her before I knew that what happened, what goes on here. Just to let you know kind of about the super soldier talk and why this relates to James Rink, is that you get what you call your home altar. Okay, so James Rink was the home altar of his split personality. Basically, it's basically a split personality, because what they do is it's the same soul, but they bring up a certain personality, and then they put and they put the one that's extra vicious. So what they do is they torture the hell out of you until they get the vicious personality to come up. Okay, so the vicious, no qualms about killing people kind of thing. And that if you met that James Rink, it would be very different, in my opinion. That's just what I got. Maybe I'm wrong about all this, okay? But I know that's what was happening with the Scarlet Witch, because I experienced it all firsthand, and it was for me to learn what was going on here. So what they do, what the Secret Space Program does, is they find people with special abilities and or ancestry or whatever, torture the hell out of them to see if they can get the mutant abilities, kind of similar to the Deadpool movie kind of thing, where they torture you to get your mutant power to come out. But basically, and then what they do is they torture you to bring up, so your different personalities come up, because according to the angel told me we're made up of all these different people. So inside of each of us is all these different people. So what happens is they torture the hell out of you, and then when they get the vicious one, the one that has no qualms, they'll kill on a drop of a hat. They take that one and then they put it in their super soldier body with the armor and the abilities and everything and the weapons, and then they send that out on missions. Okay, but eventually the person has to kind of return to their home altar. Okay. For whatever reason, like they need the home body personality still has to be intact, and they'll make sure that person has enough money to live. At least in most cases, they'll put them in an apartment, and they won't be too wealthy or anything, but they'll at least live comfortably in whatever little home or whatever little setup they've got. But then at night, or for several days or whatever, depending on what they need, they take them out for missions. And that's what I think James Rink was. But I don't know, what happens now. But apparently, again, according to the Beyond Top Secret lady, he's been taken by some people that are apparently beings or whatever that are apparently on the right side of things, on the good side of things, which is of course good news. Hopefully, I wish the best for him wherever he goes, and give him my thanks for all that he did for us, because it was a lot. It was awesome, and thank you, brother.
Brave souls defend the world community, casting shadows across the land with the intention in their hands. They carry the light. They carry the light. Super soldier talk. They walk that walk. Directed by a collective soul for a shift of humanity. Now it is time to turn the page. The coming of a golden age. They carry the light. They light the way ahead, working hard for humanity, for a spiritual awakening, giving of themselves. They carry the love for the love of a family, and to know what a life can be. Keep my family close to me, both night and day. The light ahead. Super soldier talk. The light ahead. They walk that walk. For a cause they will fight to defend, when the fight never seems to end. And the light ahead. They carry the light, showing us the way. They carry the light, the head, working hard for humanity, for a spiritual awakening, giving of themselves. They are the soldiers, super soldiers, super soldiers. Oh, and super soldier talk. They command our great respect. They create our destiny. The universe is watching us, it's watching you. And the light ahead. They carry the light. Super soldier talk. The light ahead. They walk that walk for us all. And super soldier talk. I'm coming for you.
Stay sharp, cadets. Today's exercise will test your adaptability in unexpected situations.